Ladies, let me tell you a secret. Men think they're smooth. They think they've mastered the art of hiding things, but in reality, they're about as subtle as a toddler trying to sneak cookies out of the jar. And here's the kicker. When men are hiding something, they don't just lie with their words. They lie with their eyes, their posture, their random mood swings, and even with too much detail. Today, we're exposing the 7 tricks men use when they're hiding something. And once you learn these, you'll never look at a man's innocent face the same way again. So buckle up, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly what to look for. And trust me, you won't be able to unsee it. Trick 1, the overexplanation Olympic routine. Here's the first dead giveaway when he suddenly becomes Shakespeare with way too many details. You ask, where were you? And instead of saying at the gym, he gives you a full Netflix documentary. Well, first I went to the gym at exactly 6:12. Don't ask me why it wasn't 6:10, it was 6:12. Then I did chest day. You know how they say Monday is International Chest Day, right? Anyway, Mark was there and he had this new protein shake that smelled like strawberries. And then we talked about football. And then I stopped. Nobody asked for a blow by blow. He's not confessing to you. He's performing for you. Psychologically, this is called overcompensating detail. His brain is panicking and thinks, if I add enough fluff, she won't spot the gap in the story. But here's the flaw. Truth is usually short. Lies are long. The person telling the truth doesn't need to rehearse a script. They just say what happened. The liar, on the other hand, is busy building a whole Marvel cinematic universe in his head, complete with side characters and unnecessary plot twists. So the next time you ask a simple question and suddenly get season 1, episode 3 of his life story, don't get distracted by the details. Ask yourself, why is he working so hard to convince me? Because chances are he's hiding something inside all that noise. Trick 2, the sudden mood flip. Men are creatures of habit. You know his usual tone, his usual volume, his usual vibe. But when he's hiding something, boom, sudden mood swings out of nowhere. Maybe he's overly sweet, pouring on compliments like maple syrup, hoping you'll stop asking questions. Or maybe he goes full Hulk, snapping at you for simply existing. Like, hey, who texted you? Why are you always so suspicious? Can't I have friends? Ooh, relax, Shakespeare. I just asked who sent the meme. This reaction isn't random. It's what psychologists call defensive aggression. When someone feels the risk of exposure, the brain goes into fight or flight mode. Since he can't run out the door without looking guilty, he fights back with irritation or anger to scare you into silence. Here's the trick. The overreaction is the confession. Truth rarely needs that much drama. If his answer doesn't match the intensity of the question, it's not because you're being too much, it's because he's covering up. So the next time he flips from calm to defensive like a broken light switch, don't second guess yourself. The mood swing isn't about you, it's about what he's desperately trying to hide. Trick 3, the eye contact overload or avoidance. Eyes don't lie, and men know this. So when they're hiding something, they do one or two things, and both are dead giveaways. Option A, avoiding eye contact completely. Suddenly he's fascinated by the ceiling fan, his shoes, or that imaginary spot on the wall. Option B, staring so hard into your soul that it feels like he's trying to hypnotize you. Why? Because he's read somewhere that liars can't look you in the eye, so he overcompensates. Either way, it's fake. Real eye contact flows naturally. Fake eye contact is either too much or too little, and once you notice the difference, you'll never unsee it. Remember, his eyes are basically the subtitles his mouth forgot to hide. Trick 4, the gift bomb strategy. Out of nowhere, he's suddenly Prince Charming. Flowers, chocolates, random surprises. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes men genuinely do nice things, but when it's completely out of character and suspiciously well-timed, oh, honey, it's not romance, it's guilt shopping. Psychologists call this compensatory behavior. His subconscious guilt bubbles up, and instead of confessing, he tries to balance the scales by showering you with gifts or affection. It's basically his brain whispering, maybe if I give her enough chocolate, she won't notice the thing I'm hiding. So if he's suddenly Amazon priming your love language after weeks of bare minimum effort, don't just smile at the roses. Ask what those roses are trying to cover up. Trick 5, the blame shift Olympics. Classic move. You confront him with something suspicious and suddenly you're the problem. Why are you always checking my phone? Why don't you trust me? You're so paranoid, it's exhausting. Notice what happened? You asked a direct question, and instead of answering, he flipped the script and made it about you. This is what psychologists call projection. By accusing you of being controlling or insecure, he takes the spotlight off himself. It's the conversational equivalent of tossing a smoke bomb and running away. And it works, because suddenly you're defending yourself instead of pressing him for answers. But once you recognize it, you'll see it for what it is, a distraction tactic. Trick 6, the busy bee distraction. Pay attention to this one because it's sneaky. When men are hiding something, they often use busyness as a shield. Suddenly he's swamped with work, with errands, with mysterious things he has to do. He's harder to reach, texts slower, and always have an excuse. Why? Because distance creates control. The less time you have to observe his behavior, the fewer chances you have to notice inconsistency. It's basically the human version of nothing to see here, keep moving. But here's the catch. When someone is genuinely busy, their behavior stays consistent. When someone is pretending to be busy, you'll notice little cracks, the work excuse that doesn't match the schedule, the errands that don't make sense, the stories that don't add up. Trick 7, the truth sandwich technique. Here's a grand finale, the most manipulative trick of them all, the truth sandwich. This is when he hides a lie between two truths so it slips past you unnoticed. For example, I was at John's house, we watched the game, and then I came straight home. Sounds fine, right? Except maybe the game at John's part is real and coming straight home is not. By wrapping the lie in truth, he makes it harder for your brain to separate fact from fiction. Liars love this trick because it feels safe. They can defend themselves with the true parts while slipping in the false part like lettuce in a burger. But once you know to look for it, you'll catch the sandwich every time. Pro tip, ask follow-up questions. Liars hate details about the lie portion. They'll either stumble, change the subject, or get irritated. And there's your red flag. The reality bomb. Now, before you go all detective mode on every guy you meet, here's the truth bomb. Not every man using these tricks is hiding a mistress or a second family in Wisconsin. Sometimes he's hiding smaller things, like messing up at work, spending too much money, or eating the last slice of pizza. But here's the psychological bottom line. People who are hiding something create patterns. One lie needs another lie, one trick leads to another trick, and eventually the truth always leaks through the cracks. So instead of obsessing over one suspicious moment, look at the overall consistency. Does his story, his energy, his habits align, or are you constantly left confused and second guessing? Because confusion, my friend, is not love. It's manipulation in disguise. So which of these tricks have you caught men using? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your detective stories. And if you've ever spotted the truth sandwich, you deserve a medal. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with your best friend, because trust me, she's probably dealing with one of these tricks right now. And remember, a man who has nothing to hide hides nothing. Don't settle for less than transparency.